I don't know how to start a video, but I'm hootless, and this is the first video of the Stardrops series. Every Stardrop in 1 year. That's the goal here. This is my second attempt recording this, as some of you may know. I put on the straw poll and mentioned in a video that I had some footage for this kind of run already recorded, and by some footage I mean I recorded 19 hours worth of footage, and then realized it was all useless because of a mistake that I made, and that there was almost no chance I could recover it. So I started over, and that's this. Hopefully I won't make the same mistake. I haven't recorded so far out. In fact, this is the only video I've recorded of this so far. So, I'm hoping I don't make the same mistake. Actually, I know I won't make the same mistake, because this time I'm gonna buy a rare seed, like, right away. And that was the issue, is that the traveling merchant stopped selling the rare seed in fall and winter. Like, he stopped selling it every time, and it becomes a 10% chance to show up. And as one of the requirements for a star drop is giving a sweet gemberry grown from a rare seed in fall, which takes 24 days, to the statue in the secret woods, not being able to grow a sweet gemberry kind of inhibited that plan a little bit. But, it's still going well. I do some things. That's basically it. I fish a lot, as usual. So, for those of you who don't know, the seven star drops that you can get in the game are floor 100 in the mines, randomly from your spouse at 13 out of 12 hearts, buy one from Krobus in the sewers for 20,000 gold, or 20,000? 25,000, I think. Buy one at the Stardew Valley Fair on the 16th of fall, catch every fish, donate every item to the museum, and the last one is the Sweet Gemberry one. So, I'm gonna say, right now, that I am not making the success of this run dependent on I'm gonna get 6 of the Stardrops, basically. I'm not gonna require myself to donate every item to the museum, because although that is challenging, it's also completely based on RNG. I can't control if I get every artifact, so I don't wanna base the success or failure of this run on that. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I caught a sunfish in the ocean there. And if you do a little bit of research, you'll see that the sunfish is not meant to be caught in the ocean. I don't know how that happened, and it has never happened to me before. I think it might be, like, when you're doing your first thing of fishing, it assumes that you're doing it in the river for some reason, or, like, has access to every fish in the season. So somehow it bugged and gave me a sunfish out of the ocean, which is completely fine. I needed a sunfish anyways. It was just really weird, because it's a river-only fish. But, anyways, the most difficult thing in this run, by far, like, by leaps and bounds and miles ahead of every other thing in the challenge, is that I have to catch the fish called the Legend, or just Legend, in spring. The first spring. And I have to, like, to catch the Legend, okay, he's the hardest fish in the game to catch, first of all, by difficulty. Like, he has 120 difficulty or something like that, and mixed type. So he's pretty much the most difficult to catch when you can get him on the hook. And the second reason he's the most difficult is because he requires level 10 fishing to even be able to get him on the hook. That's a little bit difficult, considering it's the first spring of the first year. So I have to get to level 10 fishing before the final day of rain in the first spring. And then on top of that, I have to get the iridium fishing rod so that I can get a trap bobber. Otherwise I have basically no chance of catching him. And I have to, like I said, I keep saying it because it's the most important part, I have to do this all by the last day of rain in spring. And that could just not happen. It's completely random whether you get each day. Nothing is set, except I think it always rains on the third day of spring. Because I don't think I've ever seen it not rain on the third day of spring. At least in recent times. But, I've had stretches where it's gone from, like, the 15th until the 27th without a single day of rain. And although I was still able to catch the legend in that attempt, it was difficult. Very difficult. So we'll see if I can get that done. The second hardest thing by far is the buying the Stardrop from Krobus, which you have to get into the sewers to get that. To get into the sewers, you have to donate 60 items total to the museum, and then you receive the key in... Or, no, you don't receive the key. Gunter comes to your... Gunther? Gunter? I always call him Gunter. He comes to your farm and he's like, hey, also, got this key. Congrats for donating so many items to the museum. Thanks. Have this key. Donating 60 items to the museum can be pretty difficult, just because it's completely random, essentially. I mean, you know, I'll try. I'm fairly certain I can get 60 items donated to the museum within the first year. It's not all that difficult. It's mostly not that difficult because you can get geodes and you can donate the minerals, and there's a lot of minerals. There's a fairly good chance that you'll get, you know, lots of the minerals just from breaking open geodes. When I'm fishing, I can get a lot of stuff that way. I accidentally punched my desk there. I can see it on Audacity showing up. I can get a lot of artifacts by fishing, and by a lot, I mean there's a fairly low chance that any of them will show up at all, but it's certainly an option. I can get a few maybe, and donate those, and those will help a little bit. If nothing else, I can try to dig up worm tiles during the winter. Worm tiles are more likely to show up during the winter, and also they're a little bit more noticeable because it's like brown on a white background. So, you know, we'll see. I'm fairly certain I can make that. I don't know if I can catch the legend, but I'm definitely going to try. And if I can get those two things done, then the rest of the challenge should be smooth sailing. I also have to get Leia up to 13 out of 12 hearts within the first year, which can be pretty difficult if you don't get her up to 10 hearts before the last day in fall that rains, then you can't marry her in this first year. And if you can't marry her, you can't get the Stardrop from her, so you know, you gotta do it real quick, which is why on the first day I bought a salad and gave it to her immediately so that I can start getting my favor with her up. That's basically it. That's the status of the challenge. Also, I forgot to mention it until now, but I'm also going to try to get every Rarecrow in this run. The Rarecrows are significantly easier. The hardest one is just going to be getting into the casino in the first year, but it should be doable. And I'll talk about those more in the next video, because the end of this video is coming up here pretty soon after I finish fishing a little bit more. There are 8 Rarecrows, and the main reason that I am going to include those in this run, just real quick, is that it tied for most votes on the poll with getting every Stardrop in one run. So I figured, why not? A little bit extra challenge. I'll get both in the same challenge run. Should be fun. But I hope you guys are all looking forward to the series and enjoyed this video. And as always, if you did, like the video, comment the video, and subscribe to the video, even share the video if you feel like it. Every little bit helps, really. Like, I appreciate it so much. Just a few minutes out of your day can make mine. And I will see you guys all next time.